From Learfield on the Mustangs Sports Network, live from Ozona Grill and Bar on Greenville Avenue, this is the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. Brought to you by BMW. Test drive one at your local Dallas-Fort Worth BMW centers and take advantage of exclusive offers. Credit Union of Texas. Be a part of something unexpected. CUTX.org. Experience more. The Lyle School of Engineering, offering master's programs through on-campus and distance education options. Visit lyle.smu.edu. Also by Ozona Grill and Bar on Greenville Avenue. Find your comfort zone. And by Ruthie's Rolling Cafe, voted the best grilled cheese in Texas. Here is your host, Rich Phillips.
And good evening. Welcome to another week of the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. I am Rich Phillips, here with the head coach of the SMU Mustangs every Monday night from 7 to 8 at Ozona Grill and Bar. And another great crowd is on hand to see you, Coach.
Amazingly. Thank you guys very much for coming.
Hey, you don't say amazingly. Come on
It's
now.
amazing. No, it is amazing.
It is not amazing.
Is. Yes, it is.
Why is it amazing?
I don't want to have to explain that, but it is amazing, and thank you for your support very much.
Of course, it has been the tough times continuing for your team, and largely we know the same reasons why, because you're so shorthanded, as we saw last week, both in the games against Memphis and in Orlando against Central Florida with just the 7 scholarship players that are healthy. So let's start right there. What update do you have for us on injuries tonight?
Let me think. None. None. Of course, we know 2 are a constant. We know that Jure and Everett, of course, are out for the season. But Shake, I believe Shake will be back at some point. I don't know when that is. We are now at the 3-week mark. We played East Carolina 3 weeks ago, and I guess 3 weeks from yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Shake got hurt in that game, so he's 3 weeks out. Obviously Ethan is coming along. He's not fully healthy, but he's able to play. I think he'll be, hopefully in the next few days, more back to 100%. And then, of course, one that's going a little under the radar. I tried to keep it under. I think everybody knows by now, but I didn't want to, 4 games ago or 5 games ago, whatever it was, Benny Malagu is obviously playing hurt, and minor detail when the best thing you do is shoot and you can't shoot. And so he's made 2 threes in the last 4 games, not because he's playing poorly, but because he has an injury. And so, it's beyond amazing to me. We started the season with 3 returning players, 3, which was, I think, the least in the history of the United States. Okay, so. But we felt like it's okay. We're going to still be good. And as of the last several days, our 3 returning players are basically all hurt.
Right.
And that is just beyond any comprehension that I can, let alone the other guys. And I know we've belabored the injuries, and I certainly don't want to do that all night tonight. But of course you did ask.
Yes.
And we're trying to get this behind us because it is the story every single minute of every day, and on our minds every minute. But Shake does have a chance to come back, but at the same time, I just want people to know that he can't just pop back and look like he did. And the most difficult thing for me, that it's a helpless is the word, frustrating but helpless feeling for me, is I do know with the group that we do have, without Shake, with assuming Goo could, get his feel back, could get his wrist feeling well, and without Jure and all that, even with the limited numbers, I do know that we could play much better. I know that we could. I know how we could do that. I know how we could practice and do that. I know what little tweaks we could do. But the helpless feeling is it doesn't matter, because it's what I've been kind of warning everybody lately. We can't really practice, and this is what this is what happens. This is a great study for everyone to watch. What happens to a team, the importance of practice or no practice or bad practice. I just turned we play East Carolina Wednesday, and I just turned the film on yesterday obviously watched them a lot, and I watched our game first with them, which was 3 weeks ago. And you talk about what a difference 3 weeks can make. And this is without Jure now. This is without Jure, and this is with shaking his hand during the game, the injury that he has sustained. So we've got no Jure, no Everett, and Shake playing with kind of one hand, and look like $1 million. 3 weeks ago, $1 million, and in 3 weeks, I watch us now, and it's like it could be 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It could be 3 years ago. The team I watched 3 weeks ago looked a lot like the team from last year, in execution and this and this and this, and I'm like, and sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you don't even realize it till you look at it backwards. And so I'm watching that game, and I'm like, oh my God, 3 weeks, 3 weeks time of course, the injuries, but also just what has happened to our practice, and that's that's why I feel so helpless. It's why this is so frustrating, and there's not a lot we can do about it. And we also have to try to bring the 7 or 6 guys that are healthy to make sure they do get to the game. So we have to be careful of that. So again, you've heard this all, but hopefully we won't talk much more about it.
I will say Saturday was about as bad a setup as we could have had. Not only the shorthandedness, we played at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
It was 11 there, but it was 10 to us.
10 a.m.
And playing against a terrific defensive team in UCF. And their fans, by the way, seemed to know that it was early, too, because they were kind of sleepy, it seemed like, at the game. It was kind of a dead feeling overall in the building, I thought, on Saturday.
Yeah, no, that's I was worried about that when I first saw the time a long time ago with a full roster, but you're right, and maybe that is difficult to play at that time. I'm sure it is, but I certainly do not want to use that as an excuse. Mm-hmm. Thank you for throwing that in there.
Sure.
But, yeah, they were playing at 11. We were playing at 10. What the heck, And
but that defensive team that you faced the other day.
Well, they are a great defense, and that was my real concern. Is
right.
I knew our execution. Gook is another guy out there that can't make a shot right now, and so we just don't have a lot of bullets. A lot of things have to go perfect, and you're playing against a great defensive team. And I was very concerned about that. I will say I was proud of the way we started so poorly and brought ourselves all the way back to I think 5 or 6 in the first half. I want to say we cut it to 4 in the second half or 6 or so. I can't remember exactly, and that's with no offense whatsoever, none, 0, less than 0. And so rebounding, defense was all good enough to win the game. And like I told the guys today, it's not like when you lose, like everything goes bad, but when you're on a losing streak and everything is going wrong, it's like putting your finger in the dike and then it goes over here. Well, now we're rebounding well, but we couldn't score a basket. Well, we were scoring really well, but we couldn't guard them at all. And it's like, this is what happens. You have to be so good. You have to be so solid. You have to be so attention to detail. You have to be so everything to win college basketball games. And that's what months and weeks and hours of practice get you. You want to try to get to that point. But, this time of year, normally our teams are just, it's we practice. It's just like, clockwork. Everybody knows exactly what they're doing. It's just kind of rehearsing everything at full speed. And usually we're in a position where we're getting better and better at this time of year. And, of course, right now, I told you a few weeks ago, we're going to be getting worse. And somehow, though, we'll keep battling. Our guys, I judge a lot on just, how are you handling this? When are you going to weaken? When are you going to just, it's too frustrating and it's no fun and it's not going to be as important. And, and I just keep telling them that's a loser's mentality. And if you do that in life, when it's on the line, then some bad things are going to happen. So it's a good time to learn right now. This isn't as bad as being in the real world and, trying to keep a job or feed your family and all those kind of things. What are you going to do then? And we talk about that all the time. And I have to say, today's attitude, energy, effort was very, very good. Does that mean we're going to play great? No, not necessarily. But I tell you, I do appreciate that, and it means the world to me.
You did have one tremendous offensive performance last week. What can you say about Jamal McMurray's game from Wednesday night? Career high 33 points, and that was a school record with 9 made three-pointers in the game.
Well, he was fantastic. He is an outstanding offensive player. Unfortunately for him, Central Florida put a great defender who's about 6'8", whose father played in the NBA, on him and did a great job. They did a terrific job on him, and of course we didn't have a lot of help for him there. But you're right. Wednesday night he was phenomenal. To set a record of most threes in a game at this school is saying a lot, because we've had some great shooters around here. Shake being one of them. Nick Moore being another one.
Nick Moore was tied for the record with Brian Hopkins, each with 8 makes.
So he was pretty ticked off. He was at the game.
He was at the game.
He was at the game. He wasn't happy about that.
No, probably not.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that part of it, but good for him. And he's not only is he scoring, but I've said this before about Jamal. It's a real handicap for him and for us. He wasn't with us this summer because he was finishing up the junior college, not because he needed to go to junior college, but because he needed to go to junior college if he wanted to play here, and he wanted to play here, and so we didn't have the luxury of coaching him this summer, nor taking him to Canada. And then, as I said, in September, we're starting and we're trying to get ready to play games, and so he's kind of over here on the other team, and so probably didn't get the full attention that he would. And so now I see some things really happening for him where he's starting to understand a lot more about how we do things and how we play, and I think he'll be an outstanding player for us next year.
This is the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich, talking SMU basketball every Monday night from 7 to 8 at Ozona Grill and Bar. And every week we do have our Ask the Coach segment. You can ask questions of the coach one of 3 ways throughout the week. Go to SMUMustangs.com and hit the Ask the Coach button on the website. You can submit your questions on Twitter using the hashtag FastTrack, or join us live and in person every Monday night at Ozona Grill and Bar and submit questions with our staff. All right, coming up next, there's been we've talked a lot about the injured guys. They keep traveling with us, too, and I want to know what these guys do, both their work off the court here during their time away and their rehab, and what they do during games, too, with you and your team. And I see them sitting on the bench and behind the bench. We'll talk about that coming up next here on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
While you're enjoying SMU basketball, More Disposal and Recycling Services is busy managing your trash. We do the dirty work so you don't have to. More Disposal offers complete waste management, from equipment purchases and installation to service and maintenance, all completed in-house. No job is too big or too small. We also offer Paper Retriever, a free paper recycling program for schools and churches. Call 214-357-HELP and let's talk trash. That's 214-357-HELP. Family owned and operated by SMU alumni, More Disposal supports SMU basketball. Pony up!
Business is a game, and if you want to win, you have to be faster, smarter, and more focused than the competition. Which is why SMU Cox offers the Fast Track 1-year MBA, designed to launch your career in just 12 months. Learn from world-class faculty, study with driven peers, and connect to a global alumni network spanning 80 countries. The Fast Track 1-year MBA, a major career highlight, only from SMU Cox. More online at coxgrad.com.
When it comes to your signage needs, trust the experts at Fast Signs North Central. With more than 50 years of knowledge, Fast Signs North Central will help provide you with a true turnkey experience. From branding and design work to complete production and installation, let Fast Signs North Central make your vision a reality by calling 214-890-4444 or find them online at fastsigns.com/11. Fast Signs North Central. More than fast, more than signs. Highland Park, Preston Hollow, and Lakewood Emergency Rooms, the official freestanding ER of SMU, and your neighborhood no-wait ER. With 3 facilities conveniently located near you, we're able to provide the Dallas area with upscale, quality care for all your emergency needs. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit HighlandParkER.com for more information. Highland Park, Preston Hollow, and Lakewood Emergency Rooms. Pony up.
He's down and might be out for the season.
What if basketball players had warranties? It's not pretty when you see your star player go down. It could change the whole season. But what if players had warranties? Like the 2017 Nissan Titan with America's best limited truck warranty. They'd be up and running in no time. Take on today. Get to Nissan, proud partner of the SMU Mustangs. Call 1-888-858-8319 or see dealer for limited truck warranty details.
If you're an SMU fan, you bring your game face to the game. But if you're an SMU super fan, your car brings its game face too. By wearing an official red and blue SMU toll tag. Because super fans know nothing says you pony up everywhere you drive like an NTTA SMU toll tag, just $19.99. To get yours, stop by SMU Parking and ID Services or any toll tag store location. The North Texas Toll Tag Authority. Get there smarter.
Welcome back to the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. I'm Rich Phillips, with the coach of the SMU Mustangs. Monday nights from 7 to 8 at Ozona Grill and Bar and on 770 KAAM. Brought to you in part by the Mustang Band, the hub of SMU Spirit. Now you can show your support by joining the Diamond M Club. Memberships are open to all Mustang fans, and we encourage you to join by visiting DiamondMClub.com. That is DiamondMClub.com, and help support the all-volunteer Mustang Band. The Mustangs will be back on the road this Wednesday night playing at East Carolina. That is a 6 o'clock Central Time start. 6 o'clock Central Time for that start. And then home on Saturday, the Mustangs with an early one on Saturday when they will host Wichita State. And we will be at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon against Wichita State at Moody Coliseum. So this past weekend when we traveled to Orlando, some of the guys we just talked about, Shake Milton, Everett Ray, and Jeray Foster were on that trip, obviously not to play. But tell us a little bit about what these guys do on the road trips. You know, I did watch when we were chatting before the game and saw that Shake was looking like his shot's just fine, but he probably can't take any contact on that hand, I assume, right now.
Yeah, I don't know if his shot's fine. He is starting to shoot the ball.
Well, he made about 10 straight threes when I first started watching.
Yeah, but he usually makes 20, so he usually makes more than that.
All right.
But he is at least, you know, there is progress for sure, but that's just standing there shooting is a long way from getting in contact, getting a hit, and all those things. So we don't know, but we do of course take them on the road, and the reason is because we can, and we don't want them to feel left out and left behind. And when you ask what do they do on the road, there's really only two things: they limp and they limp and they eat. They limp and they eat, and they slow us down getting off the bus because they're crutches, but.
Only two of them.
Two of them are on, yeah. Shake doesn't really slow us down. He just gets in the way. He just is in the way, and they slow us down. But, really their whole purpose is to just, we are a team, and we're together, and we want them there. They're allowed to go, so we take them. It'd feel terrible to, have them just staying home and not being a part of it. We've had a number of transfers, obviously, over the years. We have another one sitting out this year, Isaiah Mike, who's about a 6'8" wing type player. He's from Toronto, Canada, and he doesn't go. All the transfers, when you're a transfer, you don't get to travel. So it's a little bit of a lonely feeling. I experienced it in my transfer year. I sat out, and you practice with the team and all that, and the next thing you know, you watch them get on a bus and take off, and there you sit in your dorm room, just by yourself, and it's a lonely feeling. But that's why we always want to take them, and it's And those guys are, well, a lot of our guys, or most of our guys, all of our guys, but they're, they care deeply. They have a lot of pride, and they're trying to give as much moral support as they possibly can. Shake sat up the bench, and he was trying to coach a little bit, which was great.
That's what I was going to say. Is he didn't sit on the row behind the bench. That was reserved for the guys on crutches, I guess. He sat on the bench, and yes, I saw him way more involved on
the crutches
Saturday.
Guys have to sit back because they've got to get their feet out of the way. But they can't bend their leg well enough, I guess. But he sat there up by the coaches, and I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I don't really ever do it. But somebody said that he was talking about how hard about coaching. He says, "Man, that's a lot harder than I thought." Somebody told me he said that. So at least he got a little perspective there. I can tell him he's right. He's dead right on that, for darn sure.
How hard is it on those guys? Shake and Jeray have started. Well, Shake started darn near every game, I think, since he's played here. Jeray, the last 2 years for sure, has been in that starting lineup, and such heavy minute guys too. And this is unlike anything that they've had to go through. I think Jeray did it in high school, I guess, one year.
Yes, he did. His senior year, he tore his ACL. The same one. He's been through this before, which I just can't imagine. I happened to do the same, but I wasn't playing at the time, so I know what his rehab exactly feels like. Unfortunately, he knows what his rehab exactly feels like because he already did it. And Shake, I don't know that he's been injured much, but you're talking about lonely feelings. The lonely feeling is being left at home, but another really miserable, lonely feeling is when you're injured, and it's just the worst. And it is obviously a lot better when you're coming back. It's temporary. But in Jeray's case, he's looking up a mountain. He's looking at 8 months or so before he's playing basketball. 8 months or so. Before he can play basketball again. But regardless, anyone, Everett's season's over. And he was working so hard. He was, kind of figuring some stuff out. And he was, you could just see like he's getting ready to make a little move here, and then bam, he's out. So it's a terrible, terrible feeling. You just feel so left out. And every time I look at him, it tears my heart, really.
This is the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich here at Ozona Grill and Bar every Monday night from 7 until 8. So with guys being out, I think it's kind of taken your one senior you've got two seniors, but one senior in particular, and thrust him into a little bit more of a leadership role, and we'll talk about that coming up next year on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
Mustangs basketball season has arrived, and our good friends over at the Ozona Grill and Bar on Greenville Avenue have the perfect spot with the best patio in town. So head on over to Ozona and watch the madness unfold on TVs while eating some great West Texas favorites and drinking some ice-cold drinks. Again, that's Ozona Grill and Bar on Greenville Avenue. Look them up at ozonagrill.com. That's ozonagrill.com. Pony up, SMU.
The all-new BMW X3 was built for those who desire more. More passion, more exploring, more leaving your comfort zone and never returning. With iDrive 6.0, available safety features like active blind spot detection and xDrive intelligent all-wheel drive. Because for some, more isn't a maybe, it's a must. The all-new BMW X3, capable of more. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Test drive at one of your local Dallas-Fort Worth BMW centers and take advantage of exclusive offers.
There are Mustangs fans. And then there are Mustangs super fans who pony up with an official SMU toll tag. That's because nothing says hail to the red and blue everywhere you drive like an NTTA SMU toll tag. Just $19.99. To get yours, stop by SMU Parking and ID Services or any toll tag store location. The SMU toll tag from North Texas Tollway Authority. Get there smarter.
Out-fan. Out-chant. Outnumber. Out-cheer. Out-pregame. Out-tailgate. Out-road trip. Go all out when you go RVing. Make plans to see your team outscore, outshoot, and outplay at every game this season. Plan your epic RV road trip at GoRVing.com.
Are you really into food? I mean, really into food? Do you slice your own bacon? Do you have a favorite squash? Do you know what truffles taste like? Can you spell bouillabaisse? Does the phrase sauce packet make you sad? When I say cheese, do you smile? Have you ever read a cookbook and thought, now this would make a good movie? Do you like chicken piccata? Getting caught in lo mein? Ever thought of getting figgy with it? Are you really into food? If the answer's yes, Central Market awaits. With handmade sausages, an on-site bakery, acres of veggies, and aisles of experts, this is where you get consumed by food. Iceberg lettuce, Titanic shrimp, angel hair, and devil's food. From juicy white cherries to black molasses, Central Market is ripe with succulent samples and fresh perspective. Fill a basket with your favorites and fill your head with ideas. Central Market, for those really into food. Visit our 5 DFW locations, including our newest store at Preston Royal.
We are back on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. I'm Rich Phillips here at Ozona Grill and Bar. Every Monday night brought to you in part by Go RVing. Go all out when you go RVing. Make plans to see your team outscore, outshoot, and outplay at every game this season. Plan your epic RV road trip at GoRVing.com. The SMU Mustangs Wednesday night at East Carolina. That's a 6 o'clock start right here on 770 KAAM. And then Saturday, a 1 o'clock start at home against Wichita State. In the midst of everything that has been challenging the team this year, Coach, you have been left with I think, well, you've been left with just one of your returning guys who's been available for you of late in Ben Melagu, who is one of 2 seniors on this team. Don't shake your head at me about that.
No, I'm just laughing. But
Goo is a guy who is not real vocal, at least not around us, I don't think. But it seems like he's seen what's gone on here and had to kind of thrust himself into a lot more of a leadership role, I think, with this group this year.
Well, yeah, let's go back. So be him. He's really the only true senior. Okoye
correct,
possibly can have another year, and of course, he's been here. So he returns from a season with only 2 guys, that played last year, which is almost I've never heard of it. Okay, so he knows that we are very, 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 very raw and young, and he's going to have to be a great leader along with Shake and Jure. We knew that going. These guys are going to have to not only play well, they're going to have to spend a lot of time talking to the young players and get them up to speed as fast as they can. Then, of course, we lost Okoye, who was an experienced player, November, December. So then it magnified it because you're really looking at only 3 guys that have played before, and then Jimmy Witt, who played at another school 1 year. That's it. So Goo and Shake and Jure were doing an incredible job. From my standpoint, we went to Canada in practice. They were coaching a lot in practice because once you're an older player, 3/4 or more of what the coach is saying. It's the same information you've been learning all this time, and so they're coaching them constantly, which is what good teams do. The older players coach the younger players so that the coach doesn't have to say everything every single second. So think about, I'm so proud of those guys. Goo in particular, he's a senior. He was doing such an amazing job, such patience. And think about this. We talked about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, when Shake ended up getting hurt, another one. But I don't know if you guys remember this. This is how. Think if you're Benny Melagu right now, coming off a great year. Things are going great. 3 weeks ago today, we were the national team of the week.
Uh-huh.
We were the national team of the week. Can you imagine this? Our team was the national team of the week. We were also the 5th seed, projected a 5th seed in the NCAA tournament. So if you're Ben right now, not only are things going great, but you have done an amazing job with a shorthanded, with such odds against you. You have done such an amazing job of leading a basketball team into a position that in some ways, they didn't have business given numbers. So all of a sudden you look up and the only 2 guys that you've played with before, that have played with us before, are gone. And then you look up and you can't snap your wrists and you can't shoot the ball. And you still are trying to lead a basketball team even though you can't shoot the ball. Can you imagine the frustration that he's going through right now with all that has happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks, including his own personal struggle to try to be able to lead through his play, which right now, and maybe it'll get better, maybe it won't, I don't know, but he's a shell of himself if he can't shoot the ball, and yet he's still trying his very best. His attitude is great. Shake and Jure, they go on the trip, they're still trying, to do their best, but they're looking at a mountain too. But I'm proud of him. He's hanging in there tough. He's been through a lot in his life before this year. He's had a lot of difficult situations. He's a great young man, and of everybody who I feel so deeply hurt for, he's number one because he is a senior, and his senior year was going better than you could hope. And then all of a sudden the bottom dropped out, and it's I don't know the right word. Tragic's not the right word, but it's very sad. It's just incredibly sad.
He's been such a warrior too. Missed a year with injury, came back from that, was the 6th man of the year in the league last year. And then, you didn't even mention this, I thought we'd lost him at Connecticut a few weeks ago. Remember when he hurt his knee?
Oh, my gosh. When I went out there, I thought he was done.
I thought he was done, too.
And, the way things are going, I was positive he was done.
True.
And little did I know in another couple of weeks his wrist was. But that's neither. At least he can run, right?
When we got back from that trip, he barely could make it down the steps of the airplane, but he came back and played the rest of that game anyway despite that.
Unbelievable, yes. But I thought we had completely lost him. Instead, we've half lost him, you know. But I want to tell the story about him again. I know some may remember, some may not, but I don't forget things like this. It's happened every now and then. These types of things happen, and you have a young man on your team that you're positive that he has tremendous qualities that you personally don't have. Okay, he's a better person than you are, and that always it always hits me deep, you know. And I've got a lot of them over the years. But last year we were really struggling I was struggling before the season to determine the starting 5, because the truth was 6 of them deserved it. They were all. I mean, Ben was playing terrific. He was playing outstanding, and I decided, you know what, and I've done this before on teams when it was difficult. Everybody wants to be a starter. As a coach, you really don't care, but I know they care. I cared as a player. You want to be a starter, you know, it's a big deal. Everybody asks you, a starter? No. Oh, yeah. So it's a big deal. And so when I've ever been with teams that it's like it's just so close, what I've always done is say, hey, the 3 of you guys are going to rotate. So every third game you're not going to start. And that way you can always tell people you're a starter and you get to feel it and all that. And that way, you know, it just seems like a fair deal. So I went to several of the guys and said, look, you guys are all playing so good. I want you all to be starters. So if you guys are good with it, I'll rotate. I'm just going to rotate you. So 1 out of 3 games and you won't start. So big deal. And he comes back to me a little while later and says, you know what? No, don't do that. Let those guys start. I'll come off the bench. Now, how many people would just voluntarily give like that, you know? And again, I wouldn't have when I was in college, okay? So I just get touched when somebody shows, you know, something in them that, like I said, I know is better than what I had at their age, or maybe even now, I don't know, but he's just an outstanding young man, and I will never forget that. And then there is some karma in the world. He ended up being 6th man of the year in our league. If anyone ever deserved it, by gosh, it was him. And I know he didn't do it for that reason at all, but there was some poetic justice in that for sure.
Just 2 more games at home for him, too. Saturday against Wichita State, and next week Houston comes to town.
Yes.
So come see him at Moody Coliseum. Ben Ameligo his last couple games for the Mustangs at home. All right, coming up next, it is our Ask the Coach segment here on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
Tired of searching online for custom catering companies? Looking for someone who can craft a special menu for your event? Look no further. The Festive Kitchen has it all. From on-site lunches and drop-off catering to daily handcrafted food for your employees. Let the experts at the Festive Kitchen design a game plan for all of your catering needs. The Festive Kitchen also offers daily food shop specials, weekly entrees, and seasonal food shop menus. Find us at thefestivekitchen.com. That's thefestivekitchen.com.
The all-new BMW X3 was built for those who desire more. More passion, more exploring, more leaving your comfort zone and never returning. With iDrive 6.0, available safety features like active blind spot detection and xDrive intelligent all-wheel drive. Because for some, more isn't a maybe, it's a must. The all-new BMW X3, capable of more. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Test drive at one of your local Dallas-Fort Worth BMW centers and take advantage of exclusive offers.
How do you get large groups of people to and from events? Do what the Mustangs do and rely on Wynn Transportation. We make it easy. Simply visit GoWin.com, give us the details, and we'll take care of things from there. Wynn has provided large group transportation for decades to high school, college, and pro sports teams. We also take care of church groups, employee outings, convention travel, casino tours, and more. Your time and your experience is our passion. Visit GoWin.com to book. That's GOWYNNE.com.
J. Paul Roofing is not your ordinary roofing company. We see every job through from start to finish. We are licensed, insured, bonded, have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, have served Texas since 2010 with multiple offices around the state, and are a proud partner of SMU Athletics. Do you have damage from that last storm or just need your roof replaced? Visit jpaulroofing.com to schedule a free consultation and mention SMU for $500 off. At J. Paul Roofing, if you're not satisfied, then we're not finished.
While you're enjoying SMU basketball, More Disposal and Recycling Services is busy managing your trash. We do the dirty work so you don't have to. More Disposal offers complete waste management, from equipment purchases and installation to service and maintenance, all completed in-house. No job is too big or too small. We also offer Paper Retriever, a free paper recycling program for schools and churches. Call 214-357-HELP and let's talk trash. That's 214-357-HELP. Family owned and operated by SMU alumni, More Disposal supports SMU basketball. Pony up!
Business is a game, and if you want to win, you have to be faster, smarter, and more focused than the competition. Which is why SMU Cox offers the Fast Track 1-year MBA, designed to launch your career in just 12 months. Learn from world-class faculty, study with driven peers, and connect to a global alumni network spanning 80 countries. The Fast Track 1-year MBA, a major career highlight, only from SMU Cox. More online at coxgrad.com.
You're listening to the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. I'm Rich Phillips. We're here talking SMU basketball Monday nights from 7 to 8 at Ozona Grill and Bar. It is time for our Ask the Coach segment that's brought to you each week from the Lyle School of Engineering, offering master's programs through on-campus and distance education options with tuition reductions available for military personnel across the globe. Check it out at lyle.smu.edu. First question we have here is from Don in Dallas. He asked a question that I told you I have this question too, and I've never bothered to ask you for some reason. Why do we send our players to the defensive court when shooting free throws and leave no one to rebound any misses?
Well, we don't always. Okay, so, like the answer to that in a general way, like if you looked at us last year, the only time we would do that last year would be late in a game when you're ahead and you don't want to foul and you don't want to put people in there and you want to make sure you get back on defense. Mm-hmm. I always try to put somebody in there on the first one just because I don't want to leave the guy naked. Like if it's a 2-shot foul, I usually tell them just somebody get in there so it doesn't look naked in the lane. It doesn't feel weird. And then on the second one, get them back. But this year and in other years, there's two reasons. One is sometimes we look like we're the 6-foot and under league team in there anyway. We're so small that we don't really have any kind of advantage up there. But the real reason is we have a couple defenses that sometimes we want to set, and the only way we want to play them make or miss off of that. Your odds of getting a offensive rebound on a free throw are slim, which is not to say it's not worth going, but given what we're trying to do now defensively, which is a million times different than the way we started the year, but we're just trying to piece it together. We have a couple defenses that hopefully buy us some time and cause a little bit of confusion, and so a lot of times on free throws we do that, and we can't do it if we put people up there. They might rush it so fast we can't set our defense. So it's really got everything to do with what we're getting ready to do on the back end, and we want to do it make or miss.
And that's something, too, that I think a lot of people overlook, setting your defense, how much more of a challenge it is off of a missed shot, just not a free throw, but just a missed shot in the flow of play as opposed to a made shot. You go with the press and the trap a lot more off of a made shot.
No, exactly. It's almost impossible, not quite, but off a missed shot to press or to extend up the floor, it's very difficult. And we've got a half-court thing that we do as well, and people have to get in the right places. So if we had people up in the foul line and the shot was missed, we would never get it in place. And so we're trying to be defensive minded. We're looking at the odds of our small lineup getting an offensive rebound versus we want to play this defense as many times as we can in the game, and so this gives us a chance every time there's a free throw maybe to change the defense and give the team another look.
Henry in Plano sends in a question. How has the transfer and the grad transfer market changed the way you recruit high school kids, or has it affected it at all?
Well, it hasn't affected the way we recruit high school, but it does. We usually and this is where your scholarship reductions hurt you so bad, because a really wise strategy these days, it's the one we kind of were using when we got here, was recruit some high school players and supplement with transfers, and if you feel like you need be a grad transfer who probably has just the 1 year to play. The college basketball right now, and maybe I should say forever, but now, we're just talking about now, is a game for the old. It is a game of experience. The best teams in the country are almost always old. Look at our league. The best two teams in our league right now are Cincinnati, and who had 4,000-point scores that you mentioned.
Yes.
And Wichita, who has 7 seniors.
Right.
You know, last year we were the best team in the league. We were very old. We had 2 seniors, but Shimmy was a senior, really. I mean, in terms of how long he's been in school, he had transferred and sat out. So we had 3 seniors, and Benny Malagu was a junior, but really a senior as well. And then we had 2 sophomores who were like juniors because they'd played every minute of every game. You know, they'd played so much. So, and you just look across the country, and of course I'm not talking about Kentucky or whatever, but you know, there's a few of those. But but it is a game of experience and old. It's very difficult to be a great team when you're really young. Almost impossible. And so that's where the transfer market and the grad transfer market has allowed teams to get older and hopefully develop, you know, their younger players at a rate that is good for them and good for the team.
It's the exact opposite of professional sports. Old is good in college, not in pro.
Exactly. Well, you don't want to be too young. You want to be in the pros. You want to be right in the middle, right?
It's
you
good.
Want to be right in the middle. If you're too young, you're not experienced enough. If you're too old, you're a little too slow and you're breaking down. So there is that. But no, you can't be old enough in college. It's one of the biggest keys. And you can just, if you want to just go around and predict seasons before they happen, just look at how old a team is, the returning players, and how long they've been playing together, how long they've learned the system, how many things they've learned to like just get out of their game that doesn't work for them, and recognize all the situations when guys get, you know, I watch you guys. I just go back to Ben Moore. Okay, Ben Moore, when he first got here, was like everyone else, where his head's spinning and he's, you know, running 100 miles an hour and trying to figure out what's going on in the next play. By the time I used to laugh watching film. Ben was amazing. You know, he played the 5 for us, even though he's 6'7", 205 or whatever. But Ben, if you guys really watched him, he was always like pointing. He was pointing almost before stuff would happen, and he was a count ahead of the game. Well, you don't do that when you're young. That happens after hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of playing and film and experiencing it, and all of a sudden you get this feel for all the actions out there. And he was an amazing feel IQ player. But again, that's age and experience and all those kinds of things, and that is one of the biggest, trust me, it's one of the biggest things in college basketball, is to be very, very old and experienced.
It's funny you say that about Ben, because I do remember his freshman year when there were times where he looked lost.
Sure.
And I think late in the season he may have even come out of the starting lineup finally at one point, because he seemed like he was out of place. And then, the last 2 years of his career, it seemed like he was the first guy in place every time.
No, he was in place. Believe me. He was definitely in place. And, you know, he's in place now. He's, as you guys know, he got called up. He didn't get drafted, but he did it the hard way. Indiana, he did it through the G League. Indiana called him up, and he's, you know, on the roster with the Pacers, that's amazing. You know, when you do it the hard way, I tell you, not many people get called up, and I hope it goes well for him. You can't help but love coaching him. I mean, the coaches, you get a hold of him, and it's like, oh my gosh, all he wants to do is win. He doesn't care about anything else, and I hope he has a long career.
2 games coming up for the Mustangs this week. We will meet the enemies coming up next year on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
J. Paul Roofing is not your ordinary roofing company. We see every job through from start to finish. We are licensed, insured, bonded, have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, have served Texas since 2010 with multiple offices around the state, and are a proud partner of SMU Athletics. Do you have damage from that last storm or just need your roof replaced? Visit jpaulroofing.com to schedule a free consultation and mention SMU for $500 off. At J. Paul Roofing, if you're not satisfied, then we're not finished.
You expect high performance on the Mustangs home court and when you're on the road. That's why from the highway to the showroom, Park Place dealerships bring you the high performance experience you deserve. 18 luxury dealerships across the Metroplex, dedicated sales experts who cater to you, luxurious amenities that make every way wonderful, and a commitment to high performance excellence that makes Park Place feel like your place. Park Place, proud sponsor of SMU basketball. Learn more at parkplace.com.
We're here with Ruthie the Pig from Ruthie's Rolling Cafe. I hear you were voted best food truck in SMU, in the Park Cities, and the entire country. What's next? What you're saying is people can book Ruthie's for a private event. That's a great idea. Ruthie, since you're a pig, I have to ask, you do know that there's pulled pork and ham on the El Cubano sandwich. Where you go? Stay here. Don't leave. Well, Ruthie must be headed to your private event.
Highland Park, Preston Hollow, and Lakewood Emergency Rooms, the official freestanding ER of SMU, and your neighborhood no-wait ER. With 3 facilities conveniently located near you, we're able to provide the Dallas area with upscale, quality care for all your emergency needs. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit HighlandParkER.com for more information. Highland Park, Preston Hollow, and Lakewood Emergency Rooms. Pony up.
Here at SMU, it's all about you, the student athlete. The mission of Mustang U, built by Platinum Series Homes, is to create an environment which enables the student athlete to take charge of their development, cultivate transferable skill sets, and foster holistic growth as they prepare for successful life when they leave the hilltop. The vision of the Mustang U program is based on a foundation created through personal and career development, leadership, and community service. For more information on how you can make a difference, visit SMUMustangs.com/life skills to learn more. Mustang U, building champions for life.
Slater's 50/50 is baking it rain on Lower Greenville with our famous 50% beef, 50% bacon burgers. In fact, there's nothing we won't put bacon on. Milkshakes, wings, bacon ketchup for our tots? Yeah, we do that. So brunch on our rooftop or catch happy hour with 50 taps and all the big games on TV. Slaters5050.com. Burgers, bacon, beer.
This is the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. I am Rich Phillips here talking SMU basketball with the head coach of the SMU Mustangs on Monday nights from 7 to 8 at Ozona Grill and Bar. Another great crowd joining us here tonight at Ozona. It's time to look ahead, presented by the Cox School of Business, offering the new Fast Track 1-year MBA designed to launch your career in just 12 months. Visit coxgrad.com for more information. Well, first up this week is a trip Wednesday to Greenville, North Carolina, playing East Carolina. That'll be a 6 o'clock start. You talked earlier about how different your team is since we last saw East Carolina. I believe that was a 25-point win that we had at home a couple of weeks ago. They've been playing really well since then, too, and they've got one guy in particular, Sean Williams, who was the freshman of the week, the rookie of the week in the league this week for the 4th time already this season. Averaged 27.5 points in his 2 games last week. A little different than our Sean Williams we had several years ago, like about a foot different maybe,
yeah.
A little bit shorter.
Yeah.
But, boy, he could fill it up.
Well, you just mentioned, 3 weeks ago they were not playing all that well. They're playing their best basketball by far. Oh, my gosh, they went to Tulane and won. They hung 80 last night. They barely lost at home, but they hung 80 points. They're scoring so much better than they did before. Just our luck. They're playing their best basketball, and he has caught fire. I am so impressed with him. Amazing shooter. He's only 6'6", quick release, but thinks he can make every shot, and he has. And so it's going to be a heck of a challenge. Timing is not great, but you know what? A new one for us, another chance, another opportunity, and hopefully we can go play well there.
And then Saturday afternoon, you're back home, 1 o'clock start against Wichita State. Of course, already won up there last month, but when you know it, they've got it rolling. What an impressive day yesterday for them to knock off Cincinnati, and they are right behind them, I believe, 12th in the rankings this week. Obviously, a big test for you on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, for sure, and you remember that game. We played
very much so.
What a terrific game there, and of course Shake was just absolutely outstanding, and Goo was very, very good. Ethan played great. Jamal was great. It was just a kind of a perfect night for us there. But honestly, we're not the same team, of course, and it will take a tremendous, tremendous effort on Saturday afternoon.
Do you go back and look at that game and show that to your guys a little bit for jogging their memory, if maybe motivation a little bit that this can be done? Because it was a game 5 minutes in, you lose DeRay in that game.
Yeah, incredible, and we will show. We always show pieces of the last game, maybe not in just the for motivational, but for, this is how we played them, this is how they played us, this is an adjustment probably going to be made, those kind of things. So they'll definitely see that, and I promise you they didn't forget it either.
That's the one thing.
I'm sure that Wichita didn't forget either. And we had a little bit of a game plan that maybe it wasn't what we'd normally been doing. So we used that one up. So there's going to be no surprise element, to say the least. So it will just take an amazing effort. It's not going to be out of surprise, I can tell you that.
The game plan was to have one guy shoot from the midcourt logo some, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Doesn't usually work, but it did.
It did.
But unfortunately, they have two guys that shoot from the logo on their team. They've got two amazing shooters.
We talked about this on pregame, I believe it was, on Saturday, and you can't do a lot of full practice because of your numbers right now. And I asked you how much it is classroom work. Go back literally to the drawing board, to the chalkboard, and show guys some of the new roles that you have to put them into. But that's difficult to do here on the fly.
Yeah, it really is. You can't learn new things that way. You have to have repetitions. In other words, you could teach them something on the board and say, "Hey, just remember this and do it." It's not going to get done in a game. It's certainly not going to get executed. It'd be 1 in 10 that even all 5 would be on the same page. And so when you do something, like when you start out the beginning of a season, say, the way we try to teach is, if it's something that we did last year, we try to show them a film and say, this is this action right here. Everybody watch. This is what you do. And then we'll go on the floor and we'll jog through it, and then we'll run through it. And that way we feel like everybody's learning the purpose and the timing and all those kind of things. And I've learned this, that very difficult to put something in the day before a game. You can put it in, and of 5 guys on the floor, 3 or 4 of them will certainly remember. There's always going to be someone that's a little bit sketchy because it's not second nature yet, and it rarely works. It's just I don't know why that is, but it's just very difficult. Usually you need a couple days of reps and timing and practice, and then doing it live. It's not enough to do it against no defense, which is where we've been the last 3 weeks. Is we just kind of do everything against no defense, so then we get in the game and it's a whole other ball game. But yeah, we try to watch film and teach off film and do what we can 5-on-0, but still it's again, it's a helpless feeling, because that's not really coaching. Coaching is having practice and guys competing against each other in a somewhat game-like situation where you can correct and you can improve and all those kind of things.
This is the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. The Mustangs play Wednesday night at East Carolina. That is a 6 o'clock start, and then Saturday at home, 1 o'clock against Wichita State. And we'll look at the keys to success for this week coming up next here on the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
Mustangs basketball season has arrived, and our good friends over at the Ozona Grill and Bar on Greenville Avenue have the perfect spot with the best patio in town. So head on over to Ozona and watch the madness unfold on TVs while eating some great West Texas favorites and drinking some ice-cold drinks. Again, that's Ozona Grill and Bar on Greenville Avenue. Look them up at ozonagrill.com. That's ozonagrill.com. Pony up, SMU.
The score's tied up. The clock's winding down. The Mustangs pull up for a last-second shot, and yes!
That's when you feel like this is your team. At Park Place, we work hard to make our luxury dealership feel like your place. With an unmatched lineup of world-class cars, dedicated sales experts always there for the assist. From championship-level dealership amenities to flawlessly executed technology, experience the thrill of victory at your place, Park Place. Learn more at parkplace.com.
Are you really into food? I mean, really into food? Do you slice your own bacon? Do you have a favorite squash? Do you know what truffles taste like? Can you spell bouillabaisse? Does the phrase sauce packet make you sad? When I say cheese, do you smile? Have you ever read a cookbook and thought, now this would make a good movie? Do you like chicken piccata? Getting caught in lo mein? Ever thought of getting figgy with it? Are you really into food? If the answer's yes, Central Market awaits. With handmade sausages, an on-site bakery, acres of veggies, and aisles of experts, this is where you get consumed by food. Iceberg lettuce, Titanic shrimp, angel hair, and devil's food. From juicy white cherries to black molasses, Central Market is ripe with succulent samples and fresh perspective. Fill a basket with your favorites and fill your head with ideas. Central Market, for those really into food. Visit our 5 DFW locations, including our newest store at Preston Royal.
It is our final segment here of the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich. I am Rich Phillips here at Ozona Grill and Bar. And our last segment is brought to you by Nissan. A win for your team is a win for you, too. There's nothing quite like it except driving a Nissan. Visit ChooseNissan.com and take on today. Nissan, a proud supporter of college athletics. One thing that I'm sure as a coach you always worry about when trying times do hit a team, whatever it may be, is the attitude and mindset of players, because it can get – losing's no fun. Losing's no fun for any of us. No. Coaches, players, broadcasters, fans, none of us enjoy things like that. Certainly in their play, it doesn't look like that's in the effort that we see from your guys. It doesn't look like that's been a factor so far.
No, and it's my number 1, 2, and 3 concern, really, because it can happen, and I mean I've seen it happen a million times across the country. I've seen it firsthand over the years on teams I've been associated with. Losing is one of the most painful. You can't put it at the top. There's some more painful things than that, but it's one of them. It's up there. And when you're in the thick of it and when you're living it, it really, really tests your fiber. It tests your character, and that's really most of what I'm talking to them about right now is this is your time. This is when you're going to strengthen yourself, and yet it's not easy, and for them to keep working hard and playing hard. And so I was, we couldn't have been more poor offensively, but our effort was great. Our effort, we out-rebounded. They got 4 offensive rebounds, and we held them to 37%, and we on their floor at 10 in the morning. Our guys tried their tail off, but right now we don't have enough execution, and we need more weapons, and it's not their fault. Yes, certainly guys could do better or whatever, but it's the hardest thing. I tell you, if you haven't lived it, it is the hardest thing, day after day after day, what we're going through. And I got to say, like today, I was actually really, really surprised. I thought, boy, I bet today they're just going to be, and no, they strung together the right mindset and the right, effort and energy and all those kind of things, and I really respect that.
It's not just effort, too. Situations like this, you can see guys griping at each other, blaming, pointing fingers at guys, griping at the coach, and I don't see a whole lot of that going. I don't see any of that going on.
There's none. No, and that's what it's funny you say that, because I try to tell them what losers do. But I do believe this, and some of you may totally disagree, but because you lose certainly does not make you a loser, okay? To me, what makes you a loser is when you act like a loser, and this is what losers look like and act like, and losers, they give in. Losers, instead of going to bed early, decide, we're not doing well anyway, who cares? Losers, instead of putting in the extra time like you used to when we were winning, decide, you know what, I'd rather go play a video game. Losers point fingers. Losers get bad body language. I mean, I could go on, and that's what I talk to them about constantly, that the process, what we've done here, what we do here has obviously been working. The process is not the problem. So don't change your process. Don't change your attitudes. Don't change the way we're selfish or unselfish. Don't change the way you work. Don't change the way you act. Don't change the way that you try to help the guy next to you. None of that can change. Win, lose, draw, up 30, down 100, doesn't matter. That has to stay the same. And honestly, that's what we're preaching and teaching right now, and it's a daily situation. But I will say, so far, and there's more amazing challenges ahead of us, to say the least, but they are so far being very resilient, and I respect that. I really do. I respect what I'm seeing, and it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. It's not perfect, but it's about as good as it can be given circumstance of what we're faced with, what has happened to us, what we're looking ahead to, what we're challenged by. They're doing about as good as I could realistically hope for, honestly.
Coach, appreciate the time. We'll see you Wednesday at East Carolina, 6 o'clock start up there.
All right, great. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks again, everybody, coming out here to Ozona Grill and Bar. We'll see you next week here for the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich.
On the Mustang Sports Network, live from Ozona Grill and Bar on Greenville Avenue, the Fast Track with Tim Jankovich has been brought to you by BMW. Test drive one at your local Dallas-Fort Worth BMW centers and take advantage of exclusive offers. Credit Union of Texas. Be a part of something unexpected. CUTX.org. Experience more. The Lyle School of Engineering, offering master's programs through on-campus and distance education options. Visit lyle.smu.edu. Also by Ozona Grill and Bar on Greenville Avenue. Find your comfort zone. And by Ruthie's Rolling Cafe, voted the best grilled cheese in Texas. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Mustang Sports Network.